It was interrupted. Senator Karugu had the floor, and you have a balance of 12 minutes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to finish my contribution on approving the report by the committee on affirming Mr. Musenga to be the chair of the central bank. Mr. Speaker, before I start, and yesterday I was standing to inform Honorable Boni Khalwale when he was listing the women who have broken the glass ceiling. I wanted to remind him that he forgot the first Maasai to be elected a member of parliament, and that is Senator Peris Tobikos. Mr. Speaker, as I stand to support this report, I would want to urge Central Bank, with the new chair, to listen carefully to the clarion call by the President. The President has on numerous occasions said that we require a new finance or a new financial infrastructure or architecture. Mr. Speaker, what that means, it is new rules and regulations when it comes to our finances in this country, Mr. Speaker. I know the President is talking about the whole world, he's talking about global finances, but I would want to urge, as the chairman takes on this seat, together with the governor of Central Bank, they should take that clarion call for us as a citizen, ask citizens of this country to also enjoy that new finance infrastructure. And as I stand here, I think they have already started, Mr. Speaker, because now Safaricom has actually increased the transaction limit from 150 Kenya shillings is now 250. I think that is what we require in this country, Mr. Speaker, that the financial rules, the regulations, and the way the systems work, Mr. Speaker, need to be brought to speed within these economic times, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I urge Central Bank to come with what we call systematic changes, Mr. Speaker, when we are doing transaction. And yesterday, as I was giving my contribution yesterday, Mr. Speaker, I said I'm a great supporter of cryptocurrency. And when you talk about systematic change, it brings about transparency. What cryptocurrency do, Mr. Speaker, because it is based on blockchain, it brings about transparency. Maybe to bring to speed my good friend, chairman for CEPIC, Chairman Senator Osotsi, a blockchain is where you do a transaction and immediately you get your receipt. That receipt is distributed to everybody in the network, meaning you can never go back there to complain your receipt is different from everybody in the world. And to bring you very close to this scenario, Mr. Speaker, during the presidential election, we did what we call blockchain without even knowing, Mr. Speaker. Because at the counting of the presidential results, that form 36 or 35? 34. That form 34 was stuck on the door and it was photocopied by everybody. It was even distributed online. And that's why it was very hard for anybody to try to change it. Because trying to change it, you'll have to recall all the forms in the whole country and change each and every one, and then you give us a copy. So, Mr. Speaker, blockchain brings about transparency. And if the chairman who commented about cryptocurrency will take that seriously, together with the governor of Central Bank, I believe we are going to move to the right direction, and this is what we call the new financial infrastructure. Mr. Speaker, as I conclude, because I had made my comments yesterday, I don't know what stops the National Treasury, and of course even Central Bank, to even have what we call digital screens, even at the Senate here. You know, Mr. Speaker, when you go to a bank, you are able to see how much a dollar is exchanging with Kenya shillings, Australian dollar, Chinese yuan, and all that. What would stop both the central bank, the control of budgets, and the treasury to have something like that even here at the Senate? So today we'll be able to know which county received what, how much, and how much they received a few days ago, Mr. Speaker. What I'm trying to bring across, Mr. Speaker, it is we need a transparency infrastructure when it comes to the way we transact business, and especially on our legal tender, which is the Kenya shillings, Mr. Speaker. And as I conclude, I don't know, but we should allow, or at least come up with a law that regularizes or legalizes cryptocurrency. Because, Mr. Speaker, just because you do not regulate it, it doesn't mean it is illegal. There were youths here in Nairobi, millions of them, who queued to have their eyeballs scanned. Mr. Speaker, some were arrested, some were even deported to their country, Mr. Speaker. But because we do not have regulations, Mr. Speaker, that's why such a thing would happen. But if there were regulations, the WorldCoin could have come to the office, either the CMA or the Office of ICT, and come and report this is what we want to do. Then Kenyans could have been protected, Mr. Speaker. So we would want to urge the central bank to not just sit there, just to adapt to the changes that are happening in our financial institution, financial system, and financial infrastructure and architecture, so that they go in line with the current world today. Mr. Speaker, I do support.
Senator Olekina.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to support the committee report on the approval of the nominee as a central government. Mr. Speaker, during this time, we are dealing with a lot of challenges as an economy. We have issues that must be thought out clearly. The only way we are going to save this country is by ensuring that we pass or advance economic policies that will be able to really think about the future generation. Mr. Speaker, one of the biggest challenges we have in this country is that a lot of people who are tasked with responsibilities are not qualified enough. And in most cases, they are appointed based